Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right, ready? What up? What up? Thanks for joining in. This is Courtney and Kelly, aka Coco Kelly, Nama Shred. This is a little short video for winding down your day. And because we're in the West Coast series right now, this one is called The Ice Cube Meltdown. So after doing a few of these poses, you can even do them in bed, but it's a nice way to kind of like release from your day and get ready to settle your mind and your body into sleep. So you one of the theories you want to like melt down into your bed so you have a great sleep. All right, so we're going to start on the back. I don't think you should need any props, but if you wanted to have a belt for one, you might do that, or a blanket if you need a little more comfort there. Starting on your back in ice cube pose. So you hug the knees around the chest, right? And take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Do that 2 more times. If you are going to join on our playlist, that link is next to the video. It's called Ice Cube Shorty, and I will let you know in one more moment when to start it. One more breath out the mouth. And now close the mouth and just take a long, deep, even inhale and exhale through the nose. So you're not trying to make it Darth Vader breath, nothing intense like that. Just even out your breathing so you have the amount of oxygen coming in to stale air to the rest of your day that you've already gone through. Move it out. Any stress, any tension, any distractions of the day, all that stuff pulling on our mind. Now you can let that go and just let it be about your breathing. And as those knees start to sink towards your chest, you might feel like you can hug them a little tighter. And then from here, if you are close to your computer, wherever you're playing your playlist from, you could start that now with You Know How We Do It with Cube. So from here, in this ice cube pose, which I should explain, we called it this because Apanasana is like, this tight little pose, and you're making yourself into this little ice cube square, right? And the other thing was we thought it was funny because like if you feel cold, you're going to hug yourself in. So it kind of fit with Ice Cube, right? And paying tribute to NWA's great Ice Cube and NWA in general. Thank you for the music and the lyrics that you brought us. Like I learned a lot about social justice listening to NWA for sure. Education. All right, so from here, one hand on each knee. And then start to circle it around both knees in opposite directions. So, right? So you're taking them out, forward, up, and in, and continue that movement. Kind of just getting into those hips. If you've been sitting all day or standing all day or even active, a lot of times those hips are still kind of tight before we sleep, and they're not that comfortable to sleep. So we're getting them a little heat, a little warming up and movement in there to let them have the chance to settle and let go. Reverse those circles, opposite directions. Yeah. Take 2 or 3 more circles there. Nice, and bring it back to center. So now you're going to do both knees at the same time. Take both knees to the right or left and then around and up. And slow it down. Let it match your breathing, right? Inhale one circle, exhale the other circle. Take 2 or 3 more of those and then reverse it when you are ready to. Nice. So Ice Cube, Easy E, Dre, MC Yella, and MC Ren and DJ Yella. And then there was Arabian Prince, too, all part of MWA, started in Compton. Eazy-E was the mastermind business person. So Ice Cube was rapping, and MC Ren. Nice. Bring it back to center. And hug it in again, that ice cube pose, hug it in tight. Yeah, that should feel good. Now you're going to let your feet go down to the mat, feet flat on the mat, and just lift your right leg up. Bend your knee and grab the inside of that foot. Yep, so you're going to grab the inside, and you're going to work this hip, that right hip, into a circle and out forward and around. So if you have tight hips, it may not even move very much, but it's just kind of getting, right? Just kind of getting into that hip area. It's like half of a happy baby, or what we call Brazilian landscape inspection. Bring it around. One time I won a T-shirt because I was the only one that could name all the original members of NWA. It was very exciting. And then we're not going to reverse it. We just keep it out and hold it there. So it's like she's trying to draw her knee down to the edge of the mat, and that may not work. I mean, it may be way up, and that's okay. But you're trying to keep your left hip down and bring that right knee towards the mat. Just open up that hip a little more. It's just half of that happy baby. Yeah, half of that Brazilian landscape inspection. All right. And breathe. Check in with your breathing. We'll hold them a little bit longer here because it's that wind down. This is an awesome sequence to do in your bed, even in the morning. You could do this in the morning just to kind of wake and bake, right? You activate some muscles by moving them and then bake them with some breathing. So it can get them kind of loosened up, ready for the day too, as well as winding out. And then slow release that hand from the foot. Place that foot down. Bring the soles of the feet together and just release for a second here in he ready pose. Yeah, you could reach the arms behind the head, grab opposite elbows as inner thighs, give you a little stretch, little opening. Side ribs stretch. Let your lower back lift off the ground. Open through the chest, through the front of the hips. Yeah. Take 2 or 3 more breaths here. I love this song. It's hard not to bounce it out. You can bounce around in your bed all you want, right? Now take your hands outside of the knees. Press your knees together, right? And do that other side of the half Brazilian landscape inspection. So you grab your outer thigh, your outer foot or inner foot. Sorry, yes, inner foot. It's late in the day here. Roll it out to the side. Bring it back in. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just kind of getting into that left hip. Oiling it up. You can tell I'm from the South. Oil it. Oil it up. Oil it up. Bring it around and opening and greasing up that hip so it feels a little better to move. Or not. After you do it a while, it does. Breathe into it. That's why we're doing it, right? So it does feel better than when you're going to sleep and it's not all tightened from the day, but it's open and it can be like, okay, I can get in a comfortable position in my bed. Now hold it out there. Drop the left knee towards the edge of the mat. Yes, and breathe. And if you're working on a lot of things where you need open hips, any sort of more difficult poses, this is a good one to do every day. Just keep that thing working. You're trying to work on legs behind the head. You're trying to work on, even like crowbar and stuff like that. So it's a good way to work on it. And just doing one leg at a time. Nice focus on that side. And then you don't have to worry about both of them pulling down. We'll do that in a minute. One more breath here. You can do it. Put your ass into it. Put your hips into it. Put your back into it. Exhale, lower that foot down. Feet flat on the floor. You'll walk your feet about hip width apart and walk your feet back towards your hips, right? So your fingertips might touch the heels. And then on an inhale, push into your feet. Lift your hips up. Lift the arms up and back. Stretch it out and exhale 1 vertebra at a time. Draw the belly to spine as you slowly roll down and let the arms come down. Again, inhale, lift the hips, lift the arms. Nice, and exhale, lower 1 vertebra at a time down. And do about 3 more of those, using your breath to lift and lower. Traditionally called the moving bridge pose or something like that. It's usually talked about. We call it the bone zone. Because it's never too late to practice. Never a bad time, right? Might be the weekend where you are. It's almost Thursday. It's basically weekend. Lift it up. A nice little release on the back. Get that spine moving. When you've done all those, you can lower it down and just settle in. Now lift both feet up to the sky or ceiling, wherever you are. Bend the knees and now take that full happy baby, aka Brazilian landscape inspection. Press your tailbone to the floor. If your tailbone starts to lift up, just grab behind your thighs. All good, right? That's the option there. to lengthen the spine along the mat. Woo, yeah. As they say in my Thug Yoga classes from the beginning, eye contact is important. And if it's not COVID, you might get the power tower where I stand on you. That was a dingus comment back at Radio Snowboard Shop. Give yourself a little rock side to side, roll it in. Ugh. Also one of my faves. Gangster rap made me do it. Always. Rock it a little side to side again. Kind of work into that low back. Nice. And release the hands from the feet. Lower the feet back down to the mat. Nice. Now you're going to cross your right thigh over the left. Squeeze those inner thighs towards each other. Lift your hips up and take the hips to the right. Drop the knees to the left. Yeah, is that too tight? If that's too much, like you don't like that, unwind them and just put the knees together like we did in the foundations class. Right, you can have knees together. It's a little less intense. This one we call the nutcracker. Guys, you might have to adjust your division time before you do this pose. And you want to think about getting that right hip on top of left and then working that left shoulder down and the right shoulder down. Oh, yeah. And look over to the right hand. Get that nice length through the side ribs. It'll stretch in the hips as well as release in the back. Yeah. Deep, full breaths here. One more breath. And on your next inhale, slowly bring the knees back to center. Unwind the legs. Bring your hips back to center. Take it back to that He Ready pose. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Reach the arms behind. You might have the other arm on top if you like, just to find that balance. Long, deep breaths. Ooh, one more breath here. Let that lower back lift and open and the chest release. Exhale, hands down by your side. Use your hands to press the knees back together. Right, we do the other side of that nutcracker. So left thigh on top. Shift your hips to the left. Drop the knees to the right. Open these arms out, your arms out. Press into that left shoulder. And then let that left hip settle on top of the right. Again, if this doesn't work for you, it's a little too intense, you can always unwind the legs and have knees together here. It's another little, I guess, a little wrap snack. Ice Cube does come to Aspen often. I've seen him play at Belly Up. And I know he's been here a few more times. You hear about him around. So Ice Cube, next time you're here, come do some Thug Yoga. Holla. One more long, deep breath here. Lengthen through the spine. And when you're ready to slowly unwind, take it back to center. Unwind the legs. Reach the legs straight out in front of you this time. Long, full body stretch. Arms behind you. You can let that low back lift. And then hug your knees back to Ice Cube. So now we're going to finish like we did in the Biggie wind down, which is in the East Coast series, with the legs up the wall. So you might want to get up, move your mat to a wall. And Kelly's going to show you the easiest way to get into this, where you sit sideways and then just kind of fling your legs up. We might need to move it back so you're in the shot. Or move it back for you so we're in the shot. I think it needs to be back here. Right. There we go. Got to get in the shot. Nice. So you sit sideways like she's doing, and you just roll your legs up and kind of shimmy your butt cheeks towards the wall. Yeah. And then there's several ways you can do this. You could have the legs straight up. That feels good. You can also, if it's hard to keep the legs up like that, you could have a belt around your thighs to keep them there and you're not having to use muscular effort. Second option, you can take the legs out wide in a wall money shot. Legs out. That might feel good on those inner thighs, maybe on the back. You could, thirdly, take the soles of the feet together like he ready and sort of draw the knees towards, or press, gently press knees towards the wall. So that's another way to do that pose. And do whichever one feels the best. The longer you stay here, the more chances that it's going to be a good day. Good night. And then you'll have a good day the next day because you'll be so rested. Or you can do this in the morning and get ready for your day, right? I like this one at night, though, the legs up the wall. So it's a great option for inversion if, shoulder stand, head stand, handstand, any of those don't really work for you. Just do this legs up the wall. That gets the blood reversed down the legs. So changing up the blood flow keeps that circulation healthy and moving instead of atrophying. And it's also pumping your lymphatic system, so hopefully helps a little bit in preventing illness and disease, especially coming up on winter with all the shit going on right now. This might be a good one to add every day, right? She can fuck all night. Y'all playing basketball. So again, you could stay here as long as you want. If you wanted to stay here for 10, 20 minutes, as long as you feel comfortable there, stay there. You could go between those three options of poses. It could be legs up for 5 minutes, out for 5 minutes, together for 5 minutes, go lie down, and you're out, right? So take the time you really need to be here to feel. You actually want to feel those legs emptying of blood and it moving towards the belly and the heart, so that when you slowly bring your legs off the wall, you don't have to right now, I'm just saying when you do, consciously you're going to be aware of the blood then rushing back into those legs, and it's like a reset of your legs. You've been standing all day, you've been sitting all day, blood's moving down into the feet. So this is your nice little come back to your ground zero, come back to your level playing field and reset. It's a great way to do that. Let's see where we are. Nice. So you've got a couple more minutes in this song. If you want to right now, start to bend your knees, roll to one side to come away from the wall, and just gently roll off. You don't have to move the mat. You just kind of scoot back onto your mat to come into your biggie pose. Rest in peace. Oh, big. And you let those legs go down as wide as the mat. Arms down in that low V. Turn your palms up. And take a big inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Now just close your mouth softly. Relax the jaw. Let that breath now become natural, soft, quiet. And let everything you've done to this point just settle into the cells. And start to visualize your breath moving from head to toes through the little places we worked. Maybe the hips are still kind of pulsating from that work. Maybe the legs with that blood moving back into them. And just find that awareness of how does it feel, not judgment, just take a note. Let your mind follow the breath from head to toes. Feel that softening in the connective tissue. Feel the bones become heavy into the mat and the earth. Feel the muscles melt off those bones into the earth below you. And feeling the heaviness of that physical body, you might even see the subtle body just floating above it, watching this process happen. And then when you're ready to come out of this, you can wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and slowly make your way up if you want. or stay where Kelly is, down, and just go right to sleep. If you're doing this in your bed, have a great night. We'll see you on the next one. Namaskar. I was like, I'm getting too long. I gotta stop.